So you see, it's a double meaning. It plays on the phrase B-movie, but it's also about bees. I thought you'd get that, Mr. President. Hi, Benedict Townsend here, and welcome to YouTuber News. I've never introduced the show like this before, but it's Friday, the week is over, the weekend's here, and it's time as always for, as I mentioned, YouTuber News. Take it away, me. It's a bit of a mess. Thanks, me. Bit of a messy intro I noticed there. Work on that. MrBeast slipped a pro-PewDiePie message into this year's Super Bowl. Try saying that fast. Jessie Paege reassured fans after she ended up in an Uber accident. Shane Dawson has asked fans to stop attacking him after he delayed part 2 of his conspiracy series. And of course, it's the return of YouTuber Watch. Who will it be this week? You'll have to keep watching to find out. All this, plus I'll show you how to create a painting using only a paintbrush, some paint, and a piece of paper on this week's edition of YouTuber News, the video news service from WeTheUnicorns.com, the only website that apparently can't afford a mic clip. Look at this. What's this? Trash. The first story, MrBeast, the mysteriously rich YouTuber, in fact the only thing that's more bottomless than his wallet is his love for PewDiePie, has managed to sneak a message telling people to subscribe to PewDiePie into this year's Super Bowl. And things got pretty crazy from there, folks. What was the voice I was doing? That's right, folks, MrBeast went along with a couple of friends to this year's Super Bowl with a t-shirt that spelled out sub to PewDiePie. Imagine if I did the whole episode like that with my sort of radio. My radio voice, MrBeast, sub to PewDiePie. Oh, I've just seen our view count has gone to 0. Yes, MrBeast is known for his audacious gambits to try and promote PewDiePie's channel, because as you may know, PewDiePie is currently locked in a battle with an Indian production company called T-Series, which is rapidly approaching him in terms of number of subscribers, and it looks like it's trending to overtake PewDiePie as the most subscribed YouTube channel in the world. So MrBeast is one of many YouTubers who's doing everything he can to try and get more people to subscribe to PewDiePie so he can keep his crown. He's done all kinds of crazy stuff, usually very expensive stuff, and this might just be his craziest one yet. Now what was clever about this is him and his mates, they had their sub to PewDiePie t-shirts and they sat themselves directly behind, now I don't know very much about American football, but I believe it was the hoop, and they sat right behind one of the important hoops in the game. So every time Tom Bradley ran along with the football and went to do a big dunk, the camera would have to pan to him and it would show the message. Now, jokes aside, but the place he was sat meant that ESPN and all these channels kept having to cut to him because he was right behind the goal. So the sub to PewDiePie message was shown to the millions upon millions of people who watch the Super Bowl all around the world. And PewDiePie's numbers went up after that. I mean, they're always kind of going up, but they went up after that. So MrBeast took that as a job well done. So for now, the subscriber battle wages on. And the only true winner has got to be the fans, folks. Stay tuned for more stories right here on YouTuber News. Our second story, Jessie Paege has reassured fans after she tweeted that she'd got into an Uber accident. Jessie tweeted out, "Holy I just got into an Uber accident," leaving many fans worried about what had happened to her. This was compounded by the fact that she didn't tweet again for another whole day. But luckily, Jessie came out of it unscathed, although a little shaken. She posted an emotional message saying, "I'm okay after my Uber accident yesterday. It's absolutely terrifying that being in the wrong place at the wrong time can forever change your life or the lives of the ones you love. I got so insanely unhappy just thinking about how I can't always protect humans I love. Sad face." So as you can see, sort of serious accident like this can really sort of shake you and leave you feeling a little existential. And that's clearly happened to Jessie here. But we wish her all the best, and fans and fellow YouTubers were very quick to wish her well. Thomas Sanders tweeted, "Glad you're safe." Many other fans were tweeting that they were glad she was okay, and that, you know, if she needed any time to recuperate or whatever, they would totally understand. It's a very scary incident, but it's a good thing that she wasn't hurt. Jessie, I think I speak for all the viewers when I say we're glad you're okay, and we're excited to see what kind of awesome stuff you make in future. Our third story, Shane Dawson has asked fans to not attack him after he delayed part 2 of his conspiracy series. As you know, Shane Dawson is currently working on a brand new series about conspiracy theories, or is he? Oh man, some say this table could be flat, but I know it's a sphere. The first episode was particularly spicy. It was all about deep fakes and a couple other conspiracies. For those of you who don't know, deep fakes is an incredible new technology where you can accurately map someone's face onto another person's body, and you can make it look like a person is saying things they didn't really say. I'm gonna ask my video editor now to spend the next 24 hours perfectly deep faking me right now. I'm sure he'll love that. He's got a very short time frame, but he's gonna love deep faking me. Hey folks, it's me, Shane Dawson, and I like making videos. And hey, also here's another fun fact about me that you may not know. I actually enjoy making videos. Whoa, I just got chills. Just kidding, guys. It was actually me, Benedict Townsend. That's the power of tech. Am I right? Okay. So anyway, yeah, so basically Shane's been making some videos, is the point I was trying to make there. So part 1 came out, everyone loved it. It got 15 million views in 24 hours. Crazy numbers, only really Shane could pull off those numbers. And of course, fans were then eagerly awaiting part 2. Now, Shane originally said that part 2 would come out on Wednesday, the 6th of February. But instead, Shane tweeted out that he wanted to add some more stuff into the episode, and so they delayed it to Monday, the 11th of February, which is like 4 or 5 days afterwards. I'm not great at maths. But barely any time, only a couple of days later, it was delayed because he simply wanted to add a bit more footage. And naturally, this being the internet, the worst place, everyone got mad and started being mean to him and yelling at him and throwing things at him digitally, and just generally got furious that he had delayed this free video that's like 2 hours long by a couple of days. Yeah, man. Don't leave it in the yeah, man. Shane tweeted out, just a reminder that both parts are an hour and 45 minutes each. And there was someone who tweeted me, by the way, who pointed out that an hour and 45 minutes means that Shane's videos are longer than every Shrek movie. Not combined, but each individual Shrek movie is shorter than Shane's conspiracy videos. That is how much quality content Shane is delivering. Made by 2 guys, uploaded for free, and I probably won't post for another couple of months, sad. So I'm more than happy to take extra time to make it great. The amount of rude tweets I'm getting is insane. And naturally, a lot of fans were really heartbroken to hear that Shane was getting loads of rude tweets about this because, you know, as he said, he's giving you an incredible amount of content totally for free. And it's just him and his mate making it. It's not like YouTuber News where I've got, you know, an army of people here, stunt doubles, body doubles, hair doubles. I've got a guy, whenever we do a close-up of my hands, he does my hands for me. The guy for when I have to take my shirt off in the show, he's my double for that. Shane shared a tweet from a user called Tristan Shearer? By a guy called Tristan, who said, the thing is, he isn't pushing the date out of procrastination and laziness, he's doing it for the sake of the story, which isn't always something you can predict. It got pushed. This happens in professional movie settings too, sacrificing time for the sake of quality, and Shane shared that with a bunch of hearts, showing that that's clearly what he feels. Now, loads of fans, you know, aside from the small group of people who were being mean, loads of fans came to defend Shane, saying, you know, take as much time as you want, just saying they were very grateful that he was even making it at all. So, you know, there's a happy ending to this. It's only a very vocal minority of people who are getting angry. But it's a shame that the creators still sort of face us online. But that's the internet for you, a terrible place that we should all leave, and yet cannot escape. Haha! Oh, what a nightmare. So here's a quick thing that you definitely won't care about. Our producer Tilly is leaving, who helps make the show, and I'm very sad about it. So let's do a quick tribute to her. Seeing as you're leaving, I'd just like you to give an impassioned speech. What does YouTuber News mean to you?
Well, YouTuber
Thanks, Tilly. Great to have you in.
Okay.
Now it's time for a section of the show called YouTuber Watch, where I zero in on a different YouTuber every week and tell you a real story from their real life. Now, last week I did someone called Dan Howell. I've never heard of this kid before. A lot of people in the comments said, hey, listen, you know, in spite of the fact that this kid is virtually unknown, I quite enjoyed your story, very insightful. Some people even said, why don't you do Dan Howell again this week? That's absolutely insane. As you know, YouTuber Watch is a completely different YouTuber Watch is a completely different person every week. The mere idea of repeating a YouTuber sends shivers down my spine, fills me with bile. I would never repeat a YouTuber. Now it's time for this week's YouTuber, which I've got written down here. Oh no, I seem to have deleted the Word document, but without the information in front of me. How am I to do YouTuber Watch this week? I do have this old other YouTuber Watch left over from last week. I wrote a second Dan Howell story. I mean, I researched a second Dan Howell story. I guess I could read this as well, but to do Dan Howell twice in 2 weeks? So long. Here's Dan Howell Watch. Hi, welcome to Dan Howell Watch. I'm Tilly Coleman. What's Dan been up to this week? Well, as you know, Valentine's Day is nearly upon us, so Dan celebrated the way he always does, with his own bespoke special holiday, Howlentine's Day, where he celebrates self-love by taking himself to dinner and then having a very long bath. So Dan went along to his favourite restaurant, McDonald's, and he ordered himself his favourite meal, steak, and then a lobster on top of that, and then another steak on top of that. It's very expensive and disgusting, and Dan was having a lovely time. He had a little glass of vino, he had a rouge, he had a little glass of blanc, he had a rosé on top. He was getting extremely drunk by himself, and that's self-love, and that's okay. Anyway, he was having a great time, he was enjoying his meal. His steak was a little bit tough, so he said, Garçon, wait, Garçon! You know how his voice sounds. Garçon, this steak is a little tough. Please, could you cut it for me? So the waiter came over, he's like, sir, of course I will cut this steak. And he took out a big knife, In fact, the knife was about this long, actually. He took it out of a sort of a scabbard on his side, kind of like I guess you'd call it a sword, and he cut the steak with this sword, and he put it back, and that seems totally normal to me, and I'm sure that won't crop up later in the story. How long has this been going? About 25 minutes? So the orphans came and he bought them all a lovely spaghetti dinner. He didn't pay for them though. He did leave them with the bill at the end. And he said, you know, this has truly been the best Valentine's Day of all. And then the criminal came with the sword, trying to kill Dan. He swung for his head. He nearly got him. He got his burnt hair. He's like, oh God, not again. This criminal's always trying to murder me. And then who should pop out of the table? He'd had this very strange flower arrangement on the table that looked an awful lot like a man's head painted to look like flowers. And it was Phil. He'd been there the whole time. And Phil jumped out and he said, I'll protect you, Dan. Karate chopped the criminal. The criminal's like, ow. Because Phil, he's not a strong guy, particularly. So he kind of just bounced off his neck. The criminal's like, that's barely stopped me. Now I'm going to murder both of you. But luckily, Dan woke up and it was a dream. It was Inception, in fact. This has been Dan How Watch. Now it's time for the question of the week. Just kidding, we haven't got time for that this week, so we're just going to miss it out. Sorry about that. If you have a problem with that, or indeed any problems with the show, you can, of course, write into our official complaints channel, write a little letter, and then just mail that first-class stamp to 123 YouTuber News Towers at the YouTuber News building, Pyongyang, North Korea. And after several months, it should get to us. I am not allowed to leave the building. No, you see, there could never truly be an A movie because A movie isn't a phrase. And also, you couldn't make a movie about the letter A. It truly was the B's that made B movie special. I hope that clears things up for you, President Obama. Love you, Benedict. This has been YouTuber News, and I've been Benedict Townsend, and look at that. Don't forget, the best way to get YouTuber News here on YouTube is to hit subscribe, and you get brand new episodes delivered to you every week when they come out. And don't forget that you can also watch YouTuber News over on Snapchat Discover. So if you're away from your desktop setup, your gaming rig, maybe you're on the go, you can check the show out on your mobile. Or if you just want to rewatch the show in more of a portrait flavor, ooh, risque. Ooh, are you watching something in portrait? Ooh, you little randy boy. Then you can over on Snapchat. If you've enjoyed today's episode, if you've enjoyed it, you can hit like. You can hit like. I give you permission to hit like. If you want to leave a comment, I also give you my permission to do that, provided that it's a nice comment. We don't accept anything other than purely nice comments on this show. I'll be back next week with more kooky japes and YouTube news stories and another episode of YouTuber Watch. Who will it be next week? Dan How. It's just always Dan How. I'll see you next week, friends. And as Ariana Grande says in her song 7 Rings, oh, goodness gracious, where the hell am I going to store all these rings? I've got so many of them. 7, in fact. God, I love all these. I'm a jewelry maniac. I haven't heard this song. See you next week. Another episode of YouTuber News in the can. Feels good, baby. This must be like how Steven Spielberg feels like when he does another dinosaur movie, or how Athlete does when he does a good run. Some days you got it, some days you don't, and today I have not got it.